Game 272, what a scene.
Expect fireworks all night long.
Welcome to the big stage.
The whole world wants it.
Let's crush it, guys.
97, animate, dissolve.
I've been waiting all day for Sunday night. The tough get rough in a primetime fight. More than a game, it's every fan's right. That's why we're waiting all day for Sunday night. All right, what a night, it's finally here. Sunday night football's kicking into high gear. The stars have arrived, come on, get up and cheer. Hey, Jack, it's a fact, the show's back in town. Ravens and the Steelers in the final showdown. The stadium's rocking, time to crank up the sound. The NFL's best have come to play. Coast to coast, there's just one thing left to say. I've been waiting all day for Sunday night. The tough get rough in a primetime fight. More than a game, it's every fan's right. That's why we're waiting all day for Sunday night.
Derrick Henry on the run, touchdown! Rodgers fires to the end zone.
Showtime!
Waiting all day for Sunday night.
The first Sunday night of 2026, a cold one at the confluence of the Three Rivers in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. The ideal setting for the final game of the regular season at Acrisure Stadium, home of the six-time Super Bowl champion Pittsburgh Steelers. Is this the final game for the four-time NFL MVP Aaron Rodgers? He faces two-time MVP Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens on NBC's Sunday Night Football. Good evening, everyone. Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, Melissa Stark on the sideline. Game 272, last game of the regular season, one game to win the AFC North. Chris, we've got the quarterbacks. They've won 6 of the last 14 NFL MVPs. Let's start with Aaron Rodgers. Could be the last game of his guaranteed Hall of Fame career, but the legacy talk, let's push that off for later. Tonight, what can he do to help the Steelers win the division?
Protect the ball. That's all they've been talking about. No quarterback's ever been better at protecting the ball than Aaron Rodgers. But last week, Rodgers struggled, I think, without DK Metcalf, who's suspended again for this one tonight. But as Mike Tomlin told us, these are the games we got Aaron Rodgers for.
On the other side, it's Baltimore trying to be the 5th team to go from 1-5 and make the playoffs. 4 games without Lamar Jackson this year, including last week. But he's a go tonight. What do you expect from him?
I don't know. It's been so long since I've seen true Lamar Jackson form, right? Maybe we see it tonight. But Derrick Henry is clearly the focal point for this Steelers defense. But that should also create some huge opportunities for Lamar Jackson to make plays down the field. We'll see. Let the fireworks begin.
Houston will visit the winner of this one on Wild Card Weekend. Chris mentioned Derrick Henry turns 32, looking for a birthday bash. It's the return of the Steelers' TJ Watt in the AFC North Championship game next.
NBC Sports, home of Super Bowl 60, welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
In the 23 years of the AFC North, the Steelers have won the division 9 times, the Ravens 8. These teams who met in a wild card game last year play in a win or go home game tonight. 2 key stars back for this de facto playoff game. For more on that, here's Melissa Stark. Hi, Melissa.
Hi, Mike. Yes, good news for both teams. As you said, each getting a key player back in the lineup tonight. For the Ravens, 2-time MVP Lamar Jackson, and for the Steelers, 4-time All-Pro TJ Watt. Lamar returned as a full participant in practice this week after being sidelined for 1 game with a back contusion. He said he couldn't do anything last week, but he turned the corner on Monday. I asked him to grade the health of his back. He said it's an A, and that there's no doubt in his mind about what he can do and that he's ready to go. He will be wearing a rib protector tonight, which he hasn't worn since his rookie season. You can see them putting the jersey on over it there. He said it will not affect his play. For the Steelers, TJ Watt returns after missing the last 3 games due to a partially collapsed lung suffered during a dry needling treatment at the team facility last month. He had surgery to repair the lung. He told us he knew on Monday that he could play tonight. He'll be wearing padding to protect the incision, but he said he's not on a snap count and he has no limitations, Mike.
We'll all be watching, Melissa. Final spot in the AFC tournament to be determined. The winner tonight, the 4 seed, will host the Houston Texans. Chargers will visit New England. Buffalo to Jacksonville. Congratulations, Denver, the 1 seed, the bye for Wild Card Weekend. Well, the days and the times of the games later tonight. This is the 40th all-time meeting between John Harbaugh and Mike Tomlin. Only George Halas and Curly Lambeau have gone head-to-head more often in NFL history. The temperatures in the high 20s. There is minimal wind, there are a ton of terrible towels, and the scene is everything you would ask for the final game of a wild regular season. Pittsburgh won the toss, deferred the option to the second half, so Chris Boswell set to send it away for Pittsburgh. Back deep, Keaton Mitchell, Rasheen Ali, a pair of running backs to get it for the Ravens. They played so many great games. Intense rivalry based in respect. This game for the championship of the AFC North. 4. Oh, we'll just settle into this one, huh? It's on tilt from the start. Lamar Jackson, it has been, in his words, a different and weird season. He's missed 4 games, 3 early with a hamstring, last week a back injury that Melissa just talked about. A year with more injuries than incredible plays for the 2-time league MVP, who's trying to get his team to the playoffs for the 4th consecutive season. Chip game, 7-0. Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Hyundai. Welcome to more in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. By Greenland 2, Migration, in theaters this Friday. And by Pepsi, food deserves Pepsi. Through the years, great matchup. Harbaugh and Tomlin had a really nice conversation at midfield. May have seen that in Football Night in America. 18 seasons, John Harbaugh, 19 for Mike Tomlin. Both immense respect for how the program on each side is handled. Gainwell. So Rodgers had a very good game against Baltimore in the first meeting between these teams. This is game 272 of this season. It's game 286 of Aaron Rodgers' career. 18 years in Green Bay, 2 with the Jets. He started all but 1 this year for the Steelers. And overall, it's been pretty good, trying to win a 9th division title as a starting quarterback here tonight. Up 7, coming over to the stadium, downtown. We're heading back to downtown. Go over the Roberto Clemente Bridge on this Sunday night. Tonight's 4K Skycam coverage is delivered by Walmart Plus. Here at Acrisure, tons of Steeler fans quieted for the moment. They enjoyed the Week 14 win in Baltimore, 27-22. There was that controversial Isaiah Likely touchdown that was overturned. From the network that brought you The Office and Parks and Rec comes an all-new episode of TV's Feel Better comedy, St. Dennis Medical, tomorrow on NBC and Peacock. You're inside the tallest educational building in the Western Hemisphere. It's the Cathedral of Learning on the campus of the University of Pittsburgh. Not too far away. Hail to pick, all you Panther alums, so many Panther Steeler fans. Both teams call this building home. Tonight's SNF sites are provided by Nationwide. If you're here at Acrisure Stadium, great place to be. The Steelers Hall of Honor Museum, over 50 inductees. Last month, the class of 2025, Ben Roethlisberger, Marquise Pouncey, Joey Porter Sr., Joey Porter Jr., and the Steelers defense on the field. And a bit on the ropes here, 7-0, as we begin the second quarter in the game that will decide the 4 seed in the AFC. 3-yard drive to get the field goal. The Ravens lead 10-0. No, if you like it when you come through the Fort Pitt Tunnel, you see Pittsburgh. Bumming right now, their Steelers are down 10. Sunday Night Football is brought to you by Toyota, the official automotive partner of the NFL. Let's go places. By AWSAI, how the NFL levels up the game. And by Johnson & Johnson. Some very memorable moments, including the immaculate extension on Christmas Day 2016. And you see 54 there for the Ravens. That's Zachary Orr, their defensive coordinator, who, as I said, was a part of this on the field during his time with Baltimore. So many good games over the years, meaningful games, because these teams are usually right in the mix. And tonight is the first win or go home division. You know what this rivalry is like. We both called a bunch of these. What is it about this rivalry that just takes it to another level?
Well, it used to be that the coaches all hated each other back when I was playing. That was a good part of it. But it always turns into the same thing. I always feel like when I leave the stadium from calling one of these games, it's who out-hit who, right? I mean, it really comes down to that. And by that standard, so far, you have to say Baltimore is clearly winning this game. Now, I know T.J. Watt and some of these guys maybe not 100%, but at some point, that has to switch. You go back to the days Ben Roethlisberger with a nose, and everybody said, yeah, it's just a flesh wound, right? It was that kind of a game when you got reports from the sideline. But this is really, so far, going exactly the way the Ravens want.
The hunting party returns for another killer season. The hunt is on for the most notorious criminals the world has ever seen. The Hunting Party, Thursday on NBC, and the next day on Peacock. The star of that show, Melissa Roxburgh, who is in Pittsburgh because she's a big Steelers fan. So you see Melissa tonight, you see her Thursday in the Hunting Party. 10-3, Ravens lead, Boswell to kick. It is 1 yard into the end zone, so a touchback comes out to the 35, Chris.
Let's go back to T.J. Watt here. He is coming off that collapsed lung. He had surgery, and he's been able to play at a very high level so far. And I say so far because I'm not sure how long he can sustain. He has told us that he was in tremendous pain when he was going through this. And that hit by Ricard, watch him get up off the ground, sort of hold his side, and you know he's playing on guts alone out here tonight.
The NFL draft is here in 108 days, right in Pittsburgh. And the Raiders are on the clock. This look at the career of Aaron Rodgers is brought to you by FedEx. He is in the most elite of quarterback company. Aaron Rodgers, top 5 with Brady, Breeze, Manning, and Favre in passing yards and passing touchdowns. All those magical moments, all those spellbinding plays in Green Bay. Only Peyton Manning has won more NFL MVPs. He's won 4. The Super Bowl championship, Super Bowl 45. It ends in Green Bay. Goes to the Jets, tears his Achilles. He did not like the way the experience went with the Jets. So glad to be here in Pittsburgh for this opportunity, which we thought was for 1 year, but who knows? Rodgers' first down throw is broken up by Marlon Humphrey, trying to get it to his former Packer teammate, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. We walked into the meeting at the Steelers facility on Friday. I was like, hey, let's go. This is maybe our last production meeting with Aaron. So, have you thought about this being the last week? Any thoughts? And he said, no. And he's left the door open to playing again because he had fun this year playing for Pittsburgh and for Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, and I've got to think this game is going to have a lot to do with that decision. If he takes the Pittsburgh Steelers to the playoffs without DK Metcalf, that would be a really impressive accomplishment, because this has really hurt this football, and in particular hurt Aaron Rodgers.
That throw in the middle, Wiggins with the coverage. Incomplete, trying to get it to Adam Thielen, the veteran receiver. You talk about the separation of receivers, it's just not there with the guys they have right now.
Well, that's exactly right, because if you watch this team play, one of the best games we saw Aaron Rodgers play this year was against the Ravens.
Yeah, that's right.
He looked great. He's hitting deep balls down the field, and it was, DK Metcalf all over the place, and then other guys started to get open. But this offense doesn't have that sort of weaponry without him. And so now it is up to the guy who's been around and seen it all to figure it out somehow for the Pittsburgh Steelers over the next 3 quarters.
Third and Well, Ravens fans, you've been for a ride this year. Your team, Baltimore, was the co-favorite to win the Super Bowl this season. Then they went 1-5, playoff chances down to 38%, but then they spun around with the 5-game win streak. Lamar got healthy off the hamstring injury. Everything's good, right? No. Lost 3 of the next 4, record 7-8, playoff chances down to 6%, but then the Saturday night win at Lambeau over the Packers, and then the Browns do the Ravens a favor. They beat the Steelers, setting up this one game tonight. Daniel Falalele, the right guard, is back in. John Harbaugh and the Ravens had that win Saturday night. Then they went home Sunday, and Harb's invited some of the staff and some of the players to his house to watch the game. And he shared this video with us. That's the last play of the game in Cleveland. Look who's watching, who couldn't watch at that moment. Harbaugh, he comes around the corner. We're alive. We're alive. It was great stuff, but as he said, we were fans. So you see all those fan-posted videos that go viral of celebrations? The Ravens had their own moment, knowing that they had a game tonight to make the playoffs.
Maybe as much as any game he's ever played in, Aaron Rodgers, it is all on him tonight. Took his deep shot early on, not quite Nate Wiggins there to make the play. This was the killer. They had it set up, cleared out deep, just simply could not hit Jonnu Smith. And this was the unusual, if you will. We have seen Aaron Rodgers, no problem with the arm. He can certainly throw it with anybody, even today. The legs, not so much. That's the biggest difference when you're talking about Aaron Rodgers at this point in his career. That used to be a first down every time.
Welcome back to Pittsburgh, and coming up on the Toyota at the Half, we'll have the full AFC and NFC schedules for Wild Card Weekend. Mike?
Maria, can you tell us where we're going? Okay, you want to send me a text if you got the schedule? We're waiting. We'll be watching at halftime. Find out where we're all going next weekend. Terrific Wild Card Weekend all across the networks that carry the NFL. As we are on the road 5 weeks from tonight, Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara, right here on NBC. Pitch, Gainwell tries to cut it inside. Not gonna get there! Alohi Gilman says no! The Steelers are denied! The Ravens take the lead and momentum to the locker room.
I don't know what the theory was there, because they were completely outmanned. You put one guy in motion across the field, 2 defenders, 1 blocker, it never had a chance. It just never had a chance.
And Gilman, who came over in the trade from the Chargers, comes up with the stop. The Steelers denied. They'll get the ball to start the second half. What could have been 10-10 or 10-6 is now 10-3, and Melissa has Mike Tomlin. Go ahead, Melissa.
Tell us about the decision there to go for it and not take the points.
It's easy. You know, this is a win-or-go-home circumstance, and so we're going to play to win.
Defensively, how do you slow down Derrick Henry?
You know, it's not about him as an individual. It's about getting stops, and we've gotten sufficient amount of stops. We need to continue.
Mike, thanks.
Henry has 112 yards. He's 41 yards shy of the rushing title. Back to that last play one more time.
Yeah, well, you go in motion here, but it leaves 2 guys on the outside, and you can only block 1. So at best, you're asking Gainwell to win that one-on-one battle, and it just wasn't there. I mean, ordinarily, you'd think, all right, Aaron's going to see that motion, and he doesn't have it.
Denied. 10-3. Baltimore leads at the half. Pittsburgh gets the ball. Here's Maria and the Toyota halftime.
All right, appreciate it, Mike. And coming up on Toyota at the Half, we'll show you the full Wild Card Weekend schedule, plus every sack from Myles Garrett's record-setting season, and the Falcons move on from Raheem Morris.
Tonight's first half coverage is presented by Progressive.
For the championship for the AFC North.
It's real simple tonight. Win or go home.
Let the fireworks begin.
Jackson throws complete to Montez Walker. Herbig has Jackson for the sack.
This game is on.
Wow. This is a game where every little thing matters.
Progressive, insurance for coverage you can count on.
1 yard. the difference between a tie game and a 10-3 game. Steelers couldn't get the yard at the end. The Ravens lead by 7. Our SNF storylines are powered by AWS. Derrick Henry, 112 yards in the first half. Third game with 100 or more in the first half this season. The last time that happened, he did it in 2020. The quarterbacks, low passing numbers for Lamar Jackson, 7 rushing yards, 1 good run erased by a penalty. For Aaron Rodgers, 15 of 25 for only 98 yards, and he's out rushing Lamar Jackson. Go figure. Now, as for Rodgers throwing it downfield 10 yards or more, 0 for 5. Steelers have 99 yards, essentially almost all the Rodgers passing yards after the catch. So that's how we have arrived at 10-3 in the game for the AFC North here at Acrisure Stadium, where the Allegheny and the Monongahela meet to form the Ohio, the Three Rivers of Pittsburgh. And off the back injury, Lamar Jackson trying to get a division title for his team. Steelers get it to start the third quarter. Tyler Luke to kick it off. For Baltimore, again, no wind. Big part of the story here tonight. Jalen Warren with the return. Warren across the 30 to the 34-yard line. And here's Melissa a moment ago with John Harbaugh.
John, what was your message to the defense after that goal line stand to end the half?
Well, great job, great stop, great play by 2 guys. A lot of poise, hanging in there, a lot of tough circumstances there. We got to do better. Some of our third down pass rush stuff.
Derrick Henry, very effective on the ground. How do you continue that for the rest of the game?
Well, you know, the holding penalties have killed us. I mean, both drives have been stopped by holding penalties. We got to refrain from that.
Well said. Thanks, John.
Thanks.
Baltimore 6 penalties, 68 yards. They're one of the least penalized teams in the league, only 5.5 per game. A happy 2026 throughout this year. The United States will mark the 250th anniversary of our nation's founding. It's a year-long celebration. The NFL proud to kick off this recognition as a partner of the America 250 Commission. America 250, as you've seen all weekend, etched into the sidelines on the game balls as well. Happy 250th USA. This look at King Henry is brought to you by Gillette. It is a worthy nickname, King Henry. New calendars for you as the start of new year. Well, the King Henry calendar, September to November, it's fine. The average is 78 rushing yards in that month. But December and January is where the real stuff begins. Most in NFL history, 104 yards he averages. December of this year, he averaged 135 yards to lead the league. 49 career touchdowns in December and January. Only Emmitt Smith has more. And with his effort tonight, plus James Cook of Buffalo not playing much in the final game, on his birthday, he has a chance to win the rushing title for the 3rd time in his career. He's 41 yards away from that. Problem is, this team hasn't had the ball pretty much for an hour, except for 3 plays. Rasheen Ali is not going to have good field position. Hayward down there with the tackle.
Well, Mike, I don't know if you know it or not, but the Olympics are coming up in a month, and if you watch Derrick Henry run the ball, it looks a little like Michaela Schifrin going through the gates, in and out. A guy that is all over the place and making plays tonight for the Ravens.
He is. Chris, the ball came out at the back end of that kickoff play, yard line.
It really is hard to describe what it's like when Derrick Henry walks in the room, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean,
it's a wow.
It's
right?
it's the entire doorway.
Yeah, it is.
And I was hoping he was just going to stop when he walked in and just see how close he came.
Fill the whole frame?
Filling the whole thing up. It's amazing. And the fact that he can run the way that he runs is phenomenal.
5 yards with Craig Ironhead Hayward, the legendary player with the New Orleans Saints over the years, and these Hayward brothers over the years, a decade behind him, yet he always had the older brother to look at and model for being in the NFL. And here they are in a big game, coming up with a big moment for the Steelers, and both are playing terrific football in every phase here tonight.
We saw Cam Hayward down on the bench before the game, and he sat with his eyes closed, I'll bet you, for 15, 20 minutes. And I just remember thinking then, he's going to be ready for this one.
Tonight's SNF sites are provided by Nationwide. The Duquesne Incline scales Mount Washington 400 feet. Publix had access to this since 1877. You talk about a room with a view. Here you see where those 2 rivers form the Ohio, and the stadium's right here at the point. Great part of a visit to Pittsburgh. Here we go, fourth quarter, 13-10. The lead for the Steelers. Mike Tirico, Chris Collinsworth, Melissa Stark, Terry McCauley, our rules analyst. Started in the early 2000s playing Styx song Renegade here in Pittsburgh before the defense would come out on the field. And so often it has led to a big defensive play. Lamar Jackson's pass quiets the crowd on the... Getting real close, just over a month away from the Winter Olympics, Milan Cortina, Italy. Jordan Stolz figures to be one of the stars of a stacked Team USA, maybe the best speed skater in the world. You'll see Jordan Stolz, all the stars of Team USA, including the hockey teams as well. Our Olympic coverage a month away. The injury to Nate Wiggins a moment ago. Snap good. Hold it. The kick is no good. It is wide right. And the Steelers are the champions of the North.
Wanted at least one more game out of Aaron Rodgers.
Season-ending heartbreak for the Ravens again. And for the first time since 2020, the Pittsburgh Steelers rule the North in the AFC.
There is no way, Mike, to practice the pressure of a game-winning free throw or a game-winning kick or a game-winning putt, and the rookie succumbed that time.
The Ravens still in disbelief. As Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers will host Houston in the wild card game next Monday night. The touchdown as the man fell down. Calvin Austin to the end zone, puts the Steelers on top 26-24, and then for the second time in 4 years, one of the best kickers in the league, Chris Boswell, misses to the right. But then the Ravens come back down the field, and Isaiah Likely, who's had so many close calls that didn't go his way, on a fourth down play, goes up to get them in field goal range, and the rookie Tyler Luke from 44 yards. Just like the Boswell extra point, the kick goes right. And the 106th National Football League season takes all the emotions up and down, including the devastation for the rookie of what might have been. And for Derrick Henry, he missed it. It will not be. And for John Harbaugh and the Ravens, a crushing defeat just like started this regular season. And for Mike Tomlin, the standard is the standard, and the champion of the North is Pittsburgh. Lamar Jackson was ready to celebrate. Aaron Rodgers got to celebrate. The Chevrolet postgame coming up after this.
Welcome to the Chevrolet postgame. Here now, Mike Tirico.
Did we just see that?
I was thinking the same thing.
What a season and what a night. Much respect to all the people who make the National Football League special in game 272. This season came down to the very last snap. Pittsburgh Steelers get the last spot. They win the AFC North for the first time since 2020, so we have a full wild card picture. Let's look at wild card weekend, powered by Verizon. It'll begin on Fox with the Rams in Uptown Charlotte to take on the Panthers, and then the renewal of the NFL's oldest rivalry, the Packers and the Bears at Soldier Field Saturday night, 8 Eastern on Prime Video. The Sunday triple header, the Bills in Jacksonville to take on the division champion Jaguars on CBS at 1 Eastern. Then the 49ers will travel east to play the Eagles in Philadelphia. It's going to be warm, by the way, too, for that game, 4:30 Eastern time. And then Sunday night, we will be in Foxborough. The Patriots back in the playoffs take on Jim Harbaugh and the Los Angeles Chargers. And on Monday night, right back here at Acrisure, it'll be the Houston Texans, a wild card for the first time, taking on Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. Our players of the game tonight, the aforementioned Mr. Rodgers in this neighborhood, keeping this season going. 47 pass attempts. TJ Watt back off the collapsed lung surgery, and Cameron Hayward, the stars of the game, standing by with Melissa Stark.
All right, these guys are down here saying absolutely insane, one of the craziest games I've ever been a part of. Aaron, what was it like watching that Ravens final drive?
That sucks. That's the worst part of this game. I'd rather have the ball in my hand. We haven't made it easy for ourselves most of the year, but it was a huge lift having this guy come back. This guy had a great pregame talk that got us focused, and you know, on offense, we didn't handle our business in the first half, but the second half we came out with a different focus. When we had to have points, we went down and scored.
And you clinched the division. You're headed to the playoffs. What does this one mean to you personally?
It's pretty emotional, honestly. It's been a great year. So I'm thankful for these guys and excited to be going to the playoffs for the first time in a long while.
Does that mean you're riding off into the sunset after this?
No, it's been a grinding year.
Yeah.
And 2 years before that were tough as well. So it's been an absolute blessing to be here with these fans and this organization and Mike T and the leadership that we got with these guys. And you know, I think we found that little bit, that's something special, which is belief tonight on the offensive side. And I'm proud of our guys, the way we responded in the fourth quarter.
Had to ask it. Cam, come on in here. He said you gave a great pregame speech. What was that speech?
No, I was just saying, let's be a little bit selfish tonight. We're playing for everybody in that locker room. We dedicate our lives to this, and everybody came to play. It wasn't just one person. Thankful to get a guy like this back. Thankful for that guy right there, but it was a team effort. Was it pretty? No, but we got the job done.
And you have been a part of this rivalry for so long. To have a game like this, you know, you're just shaking your head. I mean, what does this mean to win a game like this and be a part of this?
Just adds another chapter to the Baltimore-Pittsburgh rivalry. It's unpredictable, comes down to a couple plays, came down to a field goal, and man, I'm just lucky I'm on the right side of this.
You sure are, and everybody's been talking about how thankful they were to have you back. What was it like to be back out there with your team tonight?
It was awesome. It truly was awesome. The guys, we had a great week of prep. Just got as many reps as I possibly could in practice and came on here and just tried to fly around and feed off the energy what our defense has been doing the last couple weeks. We've been playing tremendous football, and I just want to add to it.
Yeah, and it looked like it didn't impact you at all. I mean, no special attention on the sideline. You feel good?
Yeah, I feel good. We'll see how tomorrow goes, but for right now, I feel pretty good.
All right, come on in here because you had the game-winning touchdown. Tell us about that.
You know, you never know when your moment's going to be called, and you know, we just attack practice each week. Me and Abe been working on that route for probably like 3-4 weeks, and you know, you never know when it's going to come into fruition, and it came into fruition at the biggest moment.
At the biggest moment. Congratulations, you're headed to the playoffs.
Thank you. Got the hat and t-shirt, baby.
Yes, a hat and t-shirt night for Calvin Austin and the rest of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Aaron Rodgers' last playoff game that he referenced there with Melissa was 2021. They lost the divisional to San Francisco. And then the next year in game 272, last game of the year, Rodgers lost to the Lions, and we saw Aaron take that long walk up the tunnel with Randall Cobb, wondering if we were going to see him play again. He played 2 years with the Jets. And for Chris, I thought right up until toe met leather there that we were going to see an Aaron Rodgers walk-off like that one more time.
I did too, and maybe the only person happier is DK Metcalf. don't forget now, after 2 games off, you're going to add him back to the mix with this team. But I couldn't help but think when I was watching Melissa interview those guys, those are the moments you talk about 40 and 50 years later. Those moments when you go, do you remember that crazy game that we beat the Ravens and got into the playoffs and Aaron Rodgers and all the stuff that was going on? It is just, it gets ingrained in your memory in a way, and the relationships that you build off it that nothing else does.
We often talk about this stadium being at the confluence of the 3 rivers. The 3 rivers are that way. This way is where the end zone was, where the missed field goal happened by Tyler Loop. They're getting it all set now for getting the field ready. I want to show you what happened pregame at 6:15 local time. This is a priest who is spreading holy water in that end zone. The Catholic community of Pittsburgh is very strong, and its ties to the Steelers are everywhere. And that was shown on local news. Our crew got it. And down at that end zone, Tyler Loop misses the extra point, the field goal, I should say, and allows the Steelers to win.
So it's not Tyler Loop's fault.
As with everything in football, it's at a higher power. And, you know, I mentioned it, Chris, you talked about it on that drive. Mark Andrews in the game in Buffalo last year. I mean, the Ravens just have to be sick. They have been in this position often, and those crushing losses, and this one is right up there with the worst of them, unfortunately, for their fans and their franchise.
If you've been around long enough, you know that this night is what this rivalry has been all about.
Yes.
I have seen some of the craziest stuff that I've seen in all the National Football League that takes place between these 2 football teams. And it seems like it happens every single time. But to anticipate that explosion of scoring in the 4th quarter, not just like long drives, I mean bombs away, and that's something I've never seen in this rivalry before.
A shootout broke out in the 4th quarter.
It really did.
It really did. Something special. So Aaron Rodgers' walk up the tunnel will be followed with a walk back down the tunnel next week. He has truly enjoyed this experience. The Jet experience was tough. We hear that from a lot of folks who are around the franchise. This experience was different. He wanted to be in a place where the last chapter would be one he would enjoy the football. And he's enjoyed everything about this. And you can see it from the genuine smile on the face of the 42-year-old, the future Hall of Famer, who knows if he'll have another season, but we certainly know he'll have at least one more game on a Monday night here against Houston, the 5-4 matchup in the AFC. Steelers move on. Ravens crushed and head home. We'll look at the rest of the playoffs and get you ready for the postseason as we continue.
Welcome back to the Chevrolet postgame.
Time now for your Peacock Picks of the Week. Watch Simu Liu in the Copenhagen Test, that gripping new spy thriller. Good to see Simu at our game last week. You can check out All Her Fault, the Golden Globe nominated drama that pulls you deeper with every revelation. Get ready for Peacock NBA Monday tomorrow night. It's the Knicks and Pistons. Great one in Detroit. Nuggets, Sixers at 8:30 Eastern. Warriors, Clippers at 10 Eastern time. And the Sunday Night Football final with Jack Collinsworth, Tony Dungy, Rodney Harrison. They are joined on the set right now by Pratt Fryermuth. That begins immediately on Peacock. We look at the NFC playoff bracket and into Wild Card Weekend, powered by Verizon. Congratulations to the Seahawks as they won the #1 seed last night. It'll be the Bears and the Packers in the 2-7 on Saturday night at Soldier Field. Sunday afternoon, it will be the 49ers and Eagles. That's on Fox at 4:30 Eastern. The Rams and the Panthers will begin the playoffs Saturday at 4:30 Eastern in Uptown Charlotte, also on Fox. Chris, it's the most played rivalry in the history of the NFL. The Bears and the Packers. It's just their 3rd playoff meeting. One happened in the 2010 season. The other one happened in 1941. It was so long ago that the Bears and the Packers were playing in the Western Division playoffs. So that's how long ago for a playoff meeting. So that's a rare one and a special one. Your thoughts on that game?
Oh, in all these games, you know, you've got Caleb Williams obviously coming in year number 2 against the old guy, Jordan Love. I mean, it's kind of how you have to look at these playoffs now. You're going to have a couple of guys. You got Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford, a few guys that have been around for a while. But other than that, it's the kids that are taking over. The kids are taking over this league. And one of them is probably going to emerge as that next guy. And I can't wait to see who it's going to be.
Let's not forget one who's not a kid, a little bit above that, who's the reigning champ, Jalen Hurts in Philadelphia.
Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen,
Yeah,
you know.
A lot of talk about other stuff. Don't forget, the champs are still out there, and they'll be home in Philadelphia on Sunday. We are headed to Foxborough. Looking forward to a playoff game with Mike Vrabel and the Patriots taking on Jim Harbaugh's Chargers. We'll preview Herbert against May when we come back.
Welcome back to the Chevrolet postgame.
Today, football history will be made. Champions of 2 rival professional leagues will meet for the ultimate championship, the world title of professional football.
And 5 weeks from tonight, we'll know the last standing. We'll know the 60th champion of the NFL. The field is set, the 14 teams, and we will see Justin Herbert and the Chargers, the 7th seed, against the New England Patriots. Football Night in America begins our coverage 7:30 Eastern Time as Wildcard Weekend, powered by Verizon, comes your way from Foxborough. What is your first thought as we look ahead to heading to New England?
Well, you know, I start thinking about Jim Harbaugh and Mike Vrabel. And I watched both those guys play a lot of football, and they are both really good. And they both bring an intensity to the game that makes it a really special collision of titans that's going to be going on out there. And you know that the Chargers were crushed by the comeback that happened to them in the playoffs. But this is an opportunity. And I think that, you know, when you're talking about Justin Herbert, somebody who maybe could really be something special in this league, but it seems like he's always a little injured or something goes wrong. And then when we were watching Drake May the other day, I was like, Mike, this could be the guy, right? This could clearly be the guy. And they're winning by big margins in New England. So pretty exciting stuff that's going to be coming our way on Sunday night.
All the talk of the soft schedule that they played, all the talk of what's happened in the past in the playoffs with Herbert and the Chargers, all gone. It's a new start for both. Somebody will get their first playoff win. And when you look at the quarterbacks who are left in the AFC, you got Josh Allen, who's won 7 playoff games. The others have won 1 or none, except for Aaron Rodgers, who's won 11 playoff games of his 21 that he's played. And in the locker room, there he is, after a hat and t-shirt game, as he has won a division title as a starting quarterback for a 9th year with Pittsburgh Steelers. The 20th season of Sunday Night Football comes to an end with something that was even too impossible to sit down and write if you wanted to write the script for this one.
Well, because it, you know, like all great movies, it catches you off guard, right? So this thing was hammering along, and it was going to be 17-13. Exactly. So, you know, we were predicting it, and all of a sudden, boom, 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 it's flying up and down the field. You're going, this can't be Pittsburgh and Baltimore going up and down the field like that. But it's about as much fun as I've had watching a football game in a long time. We're 2 weeks in a row. Let's hope we can keep it rolling here.
We have 3 more. We've got our wild card game, our division game, and of course, in 5 weeks, Super Bowl 60 from Santa Clara, the greatest sports day any network can have, with the Olympics, the Super Bowl, and the Olympics all right here on NBC in one stretch. Speaking of on NBC, coming up on the Today Show this week, as we all get back into our work routines, Olympic related. Wednesday, NBC's Stephanie Gosk is going to be live in St. Louis. Special look at the U.S. Figure Skating Championships, marking 1 month out from the Milan Cortina Winter Olympics. And we'll have coverage of the U.S. Figure Skating Championships on our family of networks throughout the week. Wednesday morning on Today, a report from St. Louis. Awesome night for the Steelers as they win the division, beating Baltimore 26-24. Thanks to our producer, Rob Highland, our director, the Hall of Famer, Drew Esikoff, our awesome Sunday Night Football team. Our privilege to bring you the 20th season of Sunday Night Football. Look forward to seeing you all in the postseason. For Terry McCauley, Melissa Stark. Chris Collinsworth, Mike Tirico. Good night from Pittsburgh. The Steelers are the champs. The Ravens are knocked out. On to the postseason.